Hello, my peeps. Sorry, you caught me pondering. Sorry, I'm late. I such a rookie mistake. Um, I was trying to get. Okay, sorry. Hi, everybody. It's Tracey, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, the paper pusher, and very happy to be with you this Tuesday, the 27th of February. Today has been a big day, and I'm pondering now because I don't have the banner down the side of my screen, and I have a feeling I don't use this view very often, so I have a feeling maybe it just got lost when I did the last one, like it got deleted somehow. Anyways, here's my rookie mistake. I'm getting the reason I was late is I was getting all this stuff going, and I thought, how come I have no camera? I turn on the camera, I see everything. The camera's fine. How come this isn't working? Because I got my streaming software going, but I forgot to actually hit the button that says start camera. So as I'm staring at it, thinking, but anyways, some days you just have days like that. I've been going nonstop today. I've actually been going full out for a good week or so, and in a good way. Like it's fun to be busy and things are happening, and it's all great. Um, I actually got my phone all ready to go because I had my phone ready to go. The chat is showing, so if you're there, say hi. I'll have to wait till I put the camera down. Okay, I'll do it this way. I have an unreal amount of stuff to tell you today. For those of you who are running, I saw an ad for this, and I read the little backstory, and it was a father and son, and there was allergies of some kind or something that they couldn't. So they were trying to come up with candy that was less sweet, but was still good and tasty. And so this stuff is gluten-free, vegan, 30% fair trade, only 9 grams of sugar per 3 bars. I don't know that I would eat 3 bars in one sitting. No sugar alcohols, and quite honestly, I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what all the words mean, but is there sugar alcohols and other things? I don't even know what that means. And no soy. So allergy friendly in a lot of ways, yes. My favorite part is there's barely any chocolate on them. So my favorite chocolate bar is actually to eat more. How much chocolate's on that thing? But these little things are delicious. So they are like 15 and some cents at Costco. And I was curious. And so I just got them today. I had to do a Costco run. So just got them today. And my son and I both 2 thumbs up. But I counted, there was 30 of them in the bag. So they're about 50 cents. But yes, I don't know that I would eat 3 of them. Like they're very good. You'd never know that they were like low sugar and all these. Anyways, there's a totally unrelated to anything else little public service announcement for you today. I had 2 of them. I'll be honest. That's why I'm like, I can't imagine 3. 2 was plenty. 2, like, I love coconut. Oh, I love coconut. 2 was enough to satisfy the urge for something sweet. I'm not a huge chocolate fan. This is dark chocolate. Most chocolate doesn't, and I don't get along well. So, but anyways, highly recommend those. I have so much stuff to show you and tell you today. The first couple of things I don't actually have visuals for yet. One of them I will have an email, but so I had 2 things that I was going to address today, and then there became a third one, and now I'm like, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I don't know what order to do them in. So maybe I'll start with technology first, and then we'll get to the other ones, and then we'll get into all the fun stuff. So you notice and I've been trying to do it lately because I read this somewhere, and I'm like, oh. Or it was in a training course. That's where I first remember. Like, I think I heard it many times, but it finally sunk in. Facebook does not like if you direct people off Facebook. So I'm trying to make sure that you see my posts, so that if you're waiting for something or trying to do something, you see the post. I can't get used to the camera. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm going to try. So if I put a link in a post that's not Facebook, it doesn't get priority in showing up in your feed. So that's the reason I've been trying to not put the links in. Sometimes I do because I'm just like, I got a couple links. How am I doing this? So for links that are the same every time, like this YouTube channel is always the same, I put it so you click on the cover photo, and along the side, there's little links. Sign up to my newsletter. Newsletter is a great place to get all the information, right? I'll say that lots. There's the link. Or you'll notice a lot of people, and it's funny because I noticed it all the time, but it never like clicked. And then I did this course, and then every time I saw it afterwards, I'm like, nah, see, they know the rule. So a lot of people will say link in comments. And so the first comment has the link. And that's the same thing, because if you put it one of those two other places, your post still gets seen more often. So people can see the post and then they can go click. So I'd be curious to know, do you like link in comments or do you like link in cover photo? Because I can go in, I mean, there's a limit to, I think, how much stuff I can stick in there, but so far I think I've got like 4 links in there. So I can put the stuff in there, and if that's the easier way to go. Some stuff I will just keep putting there. I put lots of links in the newsletter. That's the easier way to do it, because you're on your phone specifically looking for something and you just click, right? Anyways, so that's one of the things I learned about Facebook more recently. There's lots of scuttlebutt going around and all the different things about them changing. So one of the big things that's coming up, I've said it before many, many times. I'm a winter person. I do not enjoy the heat one little bit, not at all. I don't mind the cold. I love all the snow we just got. Oh, God bless. Mother Nature's awesome. We need. Keep snowing. I'm fine with that. So is my son, because he gets paid to snow shovel. So he didn't get paid to snow shovel our snow. He gets paid to snow shovel other people's snow. So I always tell people my least favorite season is summer. I'm going to put a little addendum on that. Every I would say 4 years, but it's not even that. Every 2 to 4 years, my least favorite season is politics season. So some of these changes that are coming up, like the changes to Facebook, which I'm glad I don't do my lives into Facebook and that I do them into here, because I go through Zoom into YouTube, because for some reason I can make the camera work that way better than if I go straight in. I'm working on going straight in again, but for now I go to YouTube. So they're changing that. A lot of it has to do with politics and the US election and all the stuff that went on the last time. And they're trying to cut down on spam and all these things. This is all just background, just so because I learned all these things. I like to share when I learn things. Because at first, a lot of people are like, oh, it's Facebook, oh, it's money, it's this. Nope, it's spam. And a lot of it has been driven by US politics and all the crazy stuff that went on with the last election. And this is not about politics. I'm just saying I learned that today, and that's part of what it is. So they're changing it so you can't use like the same way you did now. You can't stream directly in. So I'm sure they'll figure out ways to do it, and people will still be able to do things. But one of the things that's going to happen is if you click on links in Facebook or in groups or in Instagram and probably in other places, you're also going to start to get a warning that says this could be spam before you click to follow. So if you click on my Instagram is the paper pusher, right? And if I tell you this is me, the paper pusher, and you click on it, it might still pop up and say, this might be spam. Do you want to continue? And that's going to freak some people out, but they're doing that just to, it's a stop. And it has something to do, if it actually was spam, it would have an impact on it too. But it would also get people, if they're not really sure about it, to think twice before they click on a link. So like I said, if I give you my link, it should be fairly safe. And I'm putting like 2-step verification. Everything I can do on everything I do is there. I paid extra to have the security certificate on my website. So when that's up and running, which, that's got to be coming soon. So they should be safe, but it's to sort of get you thinking again. So anyways, I learned all this stuff that a lot of it was politics season. So that's part of what's going on. So let me know if you prefer, that was a long way to get to, links in the cover photo. I don't think it works the same on every device. That's one of the reasons I'm asking. Or just in the first comment. If you have like 10,000 comments, trying to get back to the first comment sometimes is a challenge. I don't ever have 10,000 comments, so I don't think that would be tricky. Okay, enough technology. Okay, the other thing then, okay, I'm doing the other order. So, okay, it was sad news. From a scrapbooking, crafting, community perspective, it was really sad to hear. Companies are struggling. A lot of companies are struggling, and a lot of companies are changing. And I don't know if this is still like the effects of COVID, the economy. I don't know how much of one is related to the other. But I had to look because I make sure I get the name right. Close to My Heart announced today that they are shutting down. So that is bad for like the customers. That is bad for all the makers. Their reps, their demonstrators are called makers. I just learned that today. But it also means like all the like permanent company staff. So that's huge. And my understanding is that it's a fairly like big number of people. So that's really sad. Like it's to all of a sudden have the rug pulled out from underneath you. So all you crafters out there, just if you know somebody that's in the close to my heart world, give them an extra hug today, because that's bad. From a customer perspective, so Sarah, Stampin' Up's, I'm pretty impressed with this company and a lot of the things they do. So our CEO made a little video announcement today, and you could see she was like shaken by this, because it is, crafters are just, we're just good people. We like each other. We bring everybody in. To me, I don't care what craft supplies you use. I don't know a lot about Close to My Heart. I do know that they have way more scrapbooking stuff than we did, because when I first started with Stampin' Up, we used to have more, and then we got rid of a lot of it. And that's my understanding, was because other companies like Close to My Heart had been established and had like huge things of that. So I did find out today in Sarah's announcement that Stampin' Up would be, I don't know what she did. Acquiring is not the right word. Liquidating, buying out. I can't remember now what word she used, but we'll be taking on some of that scrapbooking stuff, and we'll somehow make it available. So I have no idea. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Close to My Heart catalog, so I'm not really sure what their stuff is or what it entails or any of that stuff. But if you are a customer and you really like to scrapbook and you're thinking, oh no, stay tuned. As soon as I hear more, I will tell you. But there's at least a portion of what they do that will be moved over, and I'll at some point be able to tell you that. If you are from there and you want information, you want help, you want whatever, you just want a hug, let me know. Yeah, I feel bad when, like, it would just be horrible if whether it's your hobby, whether it's your sideline, whether it's your business, or whether it's like a full-time job you've been going to. It's just horrible news. Stampin' Up is also made some announcements. Their announcements are not nearly as major as that. They sent an email out last week, and I imagine at some time, and I saw one post, I saw one YouTube video that said SU making changes. There's a town hall meeting tomorrow. There was a bunch of them. The one I registered for is tomorrow, where they're going to explain stuff in more detail. So as it gets closer, I will tell you more details. I watched the video already, and I read a whole bunch of information, and I've processed what we know so far. And from a customer perspective, I think most of what they're doing is very good. Customers are going to really benefit from it. Demonstrators aren't going to be able to access as much maybe the way they used to. But that's minor, I think. Customers definitely going to get a bunch of stuff, streamlining some stuff, new technology, making things easier. It's all supposed to happen mid-2024 to mid-2025. So it's not going to happen tomorrow. And as each step rolls out, there'll be more information. So as each step rolls out, I will tell you more. I just don't want you to panic, and I don't want you to think I'm not telling you something. And especially in light of the announcement today, that's not what's coming. Not that we know of. That's not what's coming. And the changes that I do know about, like I said, I think they're mostly good for customers. You get rewards sooner. Like, there's lots of good things coming. So not to worry. As soon as I get information, I will tell you. Okay, I'm sorry. Every now and again, I got to look at my list because I'm like, what was I going to say? Okay. I'm going to switch my camera down now because I do have things to show you. Just a minute while I find the right button to get to the right screen. It's the same screen that says start your camera. So I know where to find that now. I moved my head over to, what is that, the right side again. It was always blocking something when it was on the right side. So I moved it over to the left. And then I found when I moved my cameras around to try to make it straight on, that now when it's on the left, it blocks everything, just the way that my desk is set up. So, oh, the fun with technology. Okay, there we go. So yes, it's Tuesday with Tracey. Yeah, I have show and tell. First off, here, I'm going to do it this way so you can see stuff. A couple weeks back, beginning of February, she says, with no idea now in her mind. Yes, I think it was the first week. I changed my calendar to March already, so no idea. I think it was the first weekend of February. We did the Demonstrator event, and I had all those fun fold cards, which I swear I will get to. I don't want to get too far ahead on the videos of those because I need to do the blogs to go with them, which is the website, which is, yeah, so much computer time lately, and some of it is not going well. Anywho, that weekend was awesome. So, and I like to make the stuff just for the sake of making the stuff. But you make it, you post your pictures so that other people can get ideas and get inspired by them. And then each of the demos that like hosted each thing, they draw for prizes. So I won a prize. So it's very exciting to win a prize. And I won these, the adhesive backed cork rounds, which are fantastic, and which are the embellishment that comes with the Trusty Tools class that we're doing, because you'll notice I use it on all my cards because I love these. It's actually from a different suite. I think the suite's called Nature's Sweetness or something like that. It's one of the big suites with the 2 stamp sets. It looks like the field journals and stuff. It's very pretty sweet. These are actually from there. But so I won these, which is awesome, right? You know what's even more awesome? The card that they came in. Isn't this fantastic? So I'm trying to, that's throwing me off looking at the camera to see it, but it's a shaker card too. Here, I'm gonna open it so I can do it without getting my big mitt on it. Ooh. See the little daisy things in there? The little winking cow in the sun. Anyways, it's just the cutest card. So as much as I like the prize, I think I like the card better. So thank you, Elizabeth. That's fantastic. Okay, now let's get on to what's in front of me. There is only 2 days left of Celebration. Today is Tuesday. Thursday is the last day you can order from Celebration stuff. Now, I want to say 11:30 at night is the cutoff. If you're phoning in an order, it's earlier, but most people do things online now, so it's 11:30, I think, is the cutoff on Thursday night. But the closer you get to the end, the more stuff sells out, and the busier the website gets, and you tend to have trouble. Now, I can tell you that some stuff is sold out, and I closed my phone and lost my list, so just give me a moment. One of the things that's temporarily sold out, and unfortunately won't be back till 5 days after Celebration ends, is the big cut and emboss machine, which the only time you can really get that in your starter kit is during Celebration when they add on the extra spending. So that's a bit of a bummer. There are some of the embellishments, I'll tell you in a minute which ones, because I have some, that are out of stock still. There was something else in here, though, I was like, ooh, that one's the low inventory stuff. They tell you what's low inventory. Some of the cow punch is out now. Just a minute. Sorry, I'm trying to look because there's some inks that are out. There's paper that's out. As it gets closer, though, things are going to start to go. Some of them will go temporarily out. Oh, look. That's the suite I was talking about. See, there's the little cork rounds. So if one thing in this suite is out, that it shows that you can't order the whole suite. That's not what it was. It is the cork rounds that are on low inventory. There's a bunch of ink on low inventory. The in colors, which I'm going to show, I'm doing oh, that's what it was. Some of the punches are going out. It was the punches that I was thinking of. So these are the in colors that are going: Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Sweet Sorbet, Starry Sky, Orchid Oasis. At the end of April, these colors are done. Oh, hello, Jenna and Logan. So some of these things are going to start to sell out early. The embellishments, the ribbon, the paper, ink goes first. Ink and cardstock seems to go first. Any of the DSPs that are in the catalog. So, yeah, I'm telling you just because I don't want you to be disappointed. Don't wait too long. If you're going to get them anyways, your best bet is to get them during Celebration when you can get extra stuff with them. There's lots of times when they get to the retiring list, if they have a lot of stock or something left, where some of it might actually go on sale, 10, 20, 30% off possibly. The in-color stuff, I don't think I've ever seen it on sale, unless they have a huge amount of something. I don't think I've seen that stuff on sale because it goes so fast. Because people know it's going, it's gone, that's it. So anything in here that you want to get, like I said, Thursday, that's the deadline. So don't forget there's the brochure plus the extra stuff they added. Right here. I have like I said, I have so many things to show you today. Here, I'm going to put this over with my Unreal chocolate so I can find it. That's also the last day to get in on the extra stuff that you get if you want the glass mat, which may or may not become available for demos and customers to buy after Celebration's over. I expect by next week I probably will know, and as soon as I do know, I'll tell you. Next week is a busy week. So Celebration is over. The online exclusives, which that cute pet set and coffee set and some of the other things I use, which are escaping me at the moment, Encircled in Nature, those all go on sale on the 5th. The cutoff for one of our things is on the 3rd. My son's 16th birthday is next week. We have a theater to go to. I got something on the 8th, but I don't remember. There's hockey. I just have a lot going on next week. So I will, but I still, no matter how much is going on, I still check the announcements. So as soon as I know, I'll let you know. So it's possible you might be able to buy them. But like this whole glass mat, the little tray, and the cloth are $82. Or you get them free with your wicked deal you're already getting on your starter kit. So, but yeah, Thursday's the deadline on that one too. I'm so excited. I have an activity coming up at the end of the month with 10, I guess it'd be tweens. I think they're 9 to 13. And I'm so excited about it. And one of the things I noticed, so I thought, I don't know if you know this, but if you want me to come to your office or you got a little group or your team or whatever, and you want to do like a fun activity, I love to do that. One of the things that we managed to do this time, and I'm just going to point out because it was like, oh my goodness, and it made it work. There's 2 kits that are in this little extra thing. We're using this kit. This kit is $32. This kit is $34. You get one of these free if you spend $60. So if you buy 2 of these kits, you get a third one for free. That basically makes these kits just over $20 each. Perfect for group activities. The robot one is so adorable. It's got some birthday stamps. I can't remember what else. And all these little robot stamps. And then this is the memory notebook with all sorts of memory keeping. They're awesome. But there's ways to do it. So that one I realized I didn't give you a lot of notice. I realized it last week. And I told the group that I was working with, hey, I just figured out a great way to do this for you. But I forgot to like make a bigger announcement. But I'm always available for that. The same as fundraisers. And the kits are a great way to do it. So if you knew already that you wanted to do a fundraiser and you wanted to stock up and that, boom, I'll turn this around in 2 days. Most of the time it takes a little bit longer to get things going. But I do fundraisers with our kits. So I don't think I mentioned that enough. So let me know. I do it 1 or 2 a quarter is kind of the easiest way to do it. We don't want to have everybody in your little circle, saturated. So that seems like a good timing. This catalog runs till the end of April. It's kind of like the in-color stuff. Stuff's going to start running out. So if there's stuff you want, go before the end of February because then you get extra celebration stuff. There's some of this stuff I'm going to move out of the way and put back where it belongs. Okay, I told you in my little teaser that I'm having a leap into extra day sale or special. I can't remember how I phrased it now. So we have the 29th. We have a whole extra day this year. That is a whole extra day to craft in my book. Yes, maybe there's other things we should all be doing on that day. But in my world, hey, it's an extra day to craft. Now, if you have an extra day to craft, then you obviously need more stuff to craft with. So I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff I have because Lord knows I have stuff. So for every order of 30 or more, now if you want to do 60 and get an extra celebration thing, that's a great idea. More stuff is good because you got more time to craft. But I decided I went a little overboard on pre-ordering embellishments because they run out or they go back order when you really want them. And some of them did. But then I realized I got too many embellishments. So for every order of 30 or more that I get by 4 o'clock on Thursday, the 29th, I'm throwing in an extra pack of embellishments. So you can either go online and order it and have it shipped straight to you and I'll just mail you the embellishments because these can be mailed, which is awesome. Or if you're local or you just want to order through me and like we do the porch pickup, meetup, whatever system we have, then let me know and I'll just throw these extra ones in. So here's the thing. It's first order, like first come, first pick. So yes, I do have some of these in color embellishments that are current, but won't, like they're only here till the end of April and then they're gone. I have some of the rainbow. These things are awesome. There's like the rest of this color and one other color hiding underneath there. I'm trying to remember what color is hiding underneath. Anyway, they're awesome. These are from the new mini catalog. These are also in the mini catalog, and these are currently unavailable and won't be back, I think, until the end of March. These went with the B Suite, and I love them. And I ordered some extra for classes and then had some people that couldn't make the class, so I have extras. But here's the one that's going to really get you excited. These are from the Christmas catalog. And I'm not even giving up my whole stash because I'm still hoarding some of them because I can't help myself. But I have 2 of the adhesive back star trinkets. Ooh. Now these sold out before the Christmas catalog even ended. They were super popular because they are super awesome. So if you want to order, if you're going to order anyways, order before Celebration is out because you get more stuff. If you order by 4 o'clock on Thursday, you get even more extra stuff. And like I said, first come, first pick. So I'm going to put this on. The one time I tried to get like the entire thing to spell out, and this thing kept posting as a link. So I will put the link, and maybe I'll put it in the comments and see how that works for people. Yeah. Anyways, that is on Thursday. So I will make a post with that and put the link in. Now, events and some show and tell. And then I do have one other thing to show you that I need a little bit of input on. It's a customer thing that I'm making for like repeat customers. But I just need a bit of help to make sure that what's going on in my brain that I perfectly understand is actually translatable once it leaves my brain. And I need a sip of tea. One moment. Okay, I'm back. Hi. So, the birthday stamp stack, we did not have enough enrollment for that, so that is canceled. Yeah, don't ever just show up. If you don't get a reminder from me, it means it's not going. But in this case, it's canceled. So next up on the in-person event agenda is our midweek card escape, and so I will have probably 6 different open kits to make cards from. And as I mentioned before, because of the time of year, we'll have extras of these cards available to make. And I have some of these cards. And this is one of the kits with the no stamping, so that we have the language, like the 4 different languages that you can add to it. And then some that are a bit more masculine. We have some of those, and then there'll be some other ones too. So it's meant to be an easy night. Come out, grab a kit, make a card, put it back, grab a different kit, make a card. The class includes one of the delicious drinks from Nourish. So there's smoothies, there's teas, there's coffees. There's all sorts of different things you can add to them. I can't do it justice. Jen will be able to explain that all to you. But there's protein ones, and they're just less sugar. They're good for you. And oh my goodness, they taste so good. She has seasonal drinks. So I had one of the February seasonal drinks the other day. It's cherry chip, which also happens to be the blizzard I tend to get. So if I get a blizzard at Dairy Queen, I have to get a really small one because that much dairy and stuff is just nope. I got a cherry chip smoothie that was probably this big. It was so much, sorry, Dairy Queen, so much better than the blizzard. And I felt so much better after drinking it. Oh my goodness, it was delicious. Okay. So these other 2 classes, yes, there's lots of time to RSVP still, but I'm telling you again, just in case you want to order the bundles or the sets or anything, because, well, one, some of the stuff is going out of stock, but also if you're going to order it anyways, order it while you can get celebrations, right? I did have the thing, but now there it is right there. Sorry, I just put it in the wrong spot. Oh, that's the cork ones. Seriously, I have that much stuff to show you that I have piles and piles of stuff on my desk. So this class to come and make just the cards also includes the oh, these things are pretty. The purple shimmer gems. These are currently out of stock. Good thing I have extras of them for the class. They will be back in time, so if you want to order extra, you will be able to before the class. But yeah, to get the bundles and stuff. And these are the cards we're making for that one. So they're just, oh, this suite is so nice. I love the colors. I love the images. Oh, it's gorgeous. So we're making these cards. And even though none of my samples say Mother's Day, this stamp set actually comes with a really nice Happy Mother's Day. I don't think I even used the label. No, a Happy Mother's Day that fits on this size label. I'm going to put the card the right way. So you could very easily make this card, shift the butterfly a little bit, and stamp Happy Mother's Day in here. I was just using random samples because most people don't need 4 Mother's Day cards unless you're sending them to friends and sisters and stuff, which is totally cool. So yeah, I just made them with a whole bunch of different examples, but yes, there's a really good one, and I'll probably have like 1 or 2 other options just so that they'll fit more labels than just that one. So there's that. So then we have the Trusty Tools one coming off the 5th of May. That's the one where if you're just picking the card option, you get the cards and the adhesive or the embellishments, but then you can order more. Now with this one, look at these awesome cards. Oops, I saw the word awesome said awesome. I gotta shift that down a little bit. So these cards, with the exception of this one, which has none, this is just the stamp set and some coloring, and I love this card. But these other ones use the DSP. The DSP is a celebration item. So I have enough DSP to make these cards in class. But if you want extra of this DSP because it is fantastic and you want to make tons and tons and tons of tool cards, you need to order and get the DSP before Thursday. It's still in stock as we roll. But yeah, you won't be able to get it after Thursday, and I don't have extras. I have enough for the class. Okay, so keep that one in mind. And then the last one. So my show and tell went way longer than it was planned this time, but if there's a way to get stuff for free, I want you to get it for free. If you can get double the stuff for half the price, I'm working on that. I'm trying to get better with the don't spend $40 extra to save $20 on shipping. I'm trying to get better with that math. But there's lots of times where if you're buying something anyways, and it'll get you this for free that's worth 30, 40, whatever dollars, do it. Okay, the last one coming up, and this is the deadline that's next week. And let me just double check, because I'm pretty sure the 3rd of March. Okay, so the 3rd of March is Sunday. So anybody who has registered and paid for Spring Extravaganza, which is on the 18th of May, so yes, wait down the road a little bit. But the cutoff for this, the registration is beginning of April, because we have, like, I got math and orders, and we got to make this all work out, and we got to start ordering stuff and start prepping stuff. So we need to know by the beginning of April. So yes, you will still be able to register in March, but the sooner we know the numbers, the better I can start working on some of this stuff. And actually, Tamara might even start prepping some of this stuff as soon as we get things in our hot little hands. So our early bird deadline is the 3rd of March. We generally will pick something that's kind of standalone. At this point, because there's a new annual catalog coming out, I suspect that the early bird prize is going to be a set of standalone dies from the new annual catalog. So probably something that nobody has yet. We get to see the new annual catalog, Demonstrators, a digital copy of it, on the 18th of May. The dog just came in and stole paper from the recycle bin. He's the weirdest dog. Sneaky, like behind me to get the paper out of the recycle bin. So the 18th of May we'll know. So certainly by the 1st of April, when I think it's 1st or 2nd of April, when demonstrators can pre-order, we will have told you, here's what the early bird prize is, and we will have probably drawn by then too. Here's the stamp sets we're using to make the cards. Here's what the new colors look like. So you'll have lots of information by the time all of that goes live. But most of you know this is a fun day, and you get lots of stuff, and it's totally worth it. So the sooner we can get numbers and start planning, the better. So that's why there's an early bird drop. So just to reiterate, because there was some confusion at the beginning, these are the retiring colors. So these are kind of like last year's colors, or 2 years ago colors, I guess. The regular registration fee is $100. It gets you all the stuff to make 9 cards, each of 3 designs, plus 1 extra project that will be decided once we figure out what the extra stuff is when we actually see the product, and you'll see in a minute. So that's what you get. You get 4 sheets of each of the new color cardstock, a fifth of a roll, which is usually about 2 meters, of all of the new in-colored ribbons. There's always a ribbon. A full package of the embellishments. There's always one of those. A full package of the DSP. And then there's always something else. And this is the current in colors, but these were like the treat bags. Sometimes there's I was going to say shiny paper, but there's a better word for that. Glimmer paper or specialty paper, or sometimes there's ribbon and then there's extra twine. So there's something else. So once we know what that is, that's also included. So that's like the base registration. That gets you everything you need to get in. If you want to add on the markers, add on $25. It's $125 now. And it's the one of each marker that goes with this stuff. What we're doing by adding on these 2 things is we're just giving you them at the catalog price. We're eating the cost of shipping and GST, because when we order on volume, we can make the math work. So it saves you a little bit by doing it that way. And then you have everything at once. It just makes it easier. If you want it on the blends, it's $168. If you want all of the basic stuff you're getting anyways, plus the markers, plus the blends, it's $193. So those are the prices. And when you go to click to register, it explains that. But because there's a little bit of confusion, I'm just telling you. So March 3rd, registration form and pay. I send you out a confirmation. And then on Monday, which is actually the 4th of March, we'll do the draw. We'll let you know who won the early bird prize. And then we'll let you know what the early bird prize is as soon as we know. Okay, that's events. if I have not made your head explode yet, where to go? There it is. Let me show you a couple. Oh, I got one more thing to show you because I thought it was. I have such a weird sense of humor sometimes. So I was like, do you want to see the March wreath? Because I just finished it. So it's so funny, right? Because this is the February wreath. And these are designed with little magnets. So they just pop off and the new one goes on. So if you'd like to see March wreath, are you ready? Are you ready? See, I don't know why that was so funny to me. The kits are ready. They're a little bit, I was a little bit behind, but they're ready. And I am figuring out how to drop them off tomorrow to everybody. But I will actually show you the wreath. So I have this magnetic board off to the side of my desk, which is where I put the ones that I'm working on or the ones that I have to put in the box carefully so nothing happens to them. Or when I get one ready and it's not quite time to put it up yet, that's where I put them. So yeah, I went a little overboard. Oh, there we go. I'm like, why are my magnets not lining up? Oh, that's why, because I have it like totally crooked. There we go. So there we go. Oh, I'm a little too close to the camera. There's March's wreath. Seriously, why can't I? Ah, there we go. I'm like, I keep moving it. Okay, so the magnets are lined up now. See, it doesn't come off. Ta-da! I had a lot of fun with this. I did do my rainbow backwards because I took artistic license because I liked it that way. And this punch sold out so quick last year, but I was lucky enough to get one. And I went to town with the shamrocks. So anyways, there is March's wreath. It was the final month of the Wreath of the Month Club. That's what I was calling it. I like to make things sound like they're way more dramatic and fun. Wreath of the Month. Okay, so here's my questions for you now. I've got 20 minutes left, and I'm going to hope that I don't like make your brain go, whoa. I am working on some customer appreciation thingies. I might have shown before, and I'm still working out the details. So, and I think I've shown you before because we have our little dice to make little creativity things. We'll have the little color things. Stampin' Up had these for a while, and then they got rid of them. So if they don't come back with them, I'm making my own. But I'm waiting till the new catalog is out so I get the next set of new in colors because otherwise I'll just have to replace them. And that's coming up really quickly. The punch thing I did not bring over to my desk, but we got the little punch cheat sheets. And then, funny enough, the one that I was like working on most currently, I think I've been asked 3 times in maybe the last like 3 to 4 weeks about cutting cardstock. And I thought, well, have I got the trick for you? So what I did was I made these card templates. And this original idea, I want to say it came from a demonstrator in Australia. I think might be where I saw it, but I can't 100% remember. But a different demonstrator had made, because I think it was her, because I think she had the US letter version and the A4, like the European letter version, which I think Australia must use. Now I can't remember what Australia uses. Sorry. Anyways, these come in quite handy. So, and I realize none of these have labels, and I probably should put some labels on them to make it make more sense. So I do have the labels. And so here's what I was doing. This is how these work. I'm just going to move on out of the way. And I'm going to put a label on it, just so it makes sense to you. But I have 2 questions. So when you get these, you would get them, and the best thing I've come up with is you're going to get a stamp case with these in them. And you don't have to be a customer mind to have an opinion. So if you have an idea what you think makes more sense, by all means, let me know. Here, I'll do a couple of them because it'll make more sense. So one of the things I had was to make layers and to know what size to cut the layers. But then I got asked about, well, what about cutting, like, where do you cut your card bases and where do you score your card bases, and how do you do, like, how do you make the paperwork? So this is what I decided. This is 1, 2, 3, just 1 minute. Sorry, I totally ran out of time. I will fully admit that I totally ran out of time. I was trying to have the whole thing labeled and everything. It just didn't happen. Okay, the dog. I blame the dog. Okay, so here's what happens. So I'm going to decide. They can be used a few different ways. This is cut crooked and it's really bothering me. And you know what? My chocolate is in the way of my scissors. There we go. I just have to fix that because it's really bothering me. There we go. Okay, so if one of the ways you can use these is you want to make a card. So let's say, for example, I see this card, right? And I see a picture of it online. And I'm like, ooh, I want to make that card. And it doesn't even matter if you want to make the card with the exact same elements. If you just want to make the card like with this layout. Okay, so well, what size are these? Oh, I wonder what the chances are that I grab the right layer to do that. That will be amazing if I did. So what you need to do, so for starters, you can look and see that this is a portrait card. So what I've done is on this portrait card base, I'm telling you that the front of this card, now an actual card base is folded in half, but I didn't want this to be too bulky and I didn't want you to accidentally use it on a card. So it is just the front of a card. Yes, I've done that before. I even write template on it, but if it's flipped over the wrong way and you glue it down, sometimes you glue your template to something. So, and what it says is to score your paper at 5.5 and then cut at 4.25. So I don't have the right size piece of paper in front of me. Just, you know what? Just 1 second. Sorry. I knew I was forgetting something when I was grabbing all my papers off the desk. So I like my card bases. Sorry, I'm back. I like my card bases to be top fold. And by top fold, I mean that the fold is on the top. So they're like a tent, right? So they stand up. Now, do I have one that's, I don't think I have one. Oh, just a minute. I got to find one that's cut the other way. Okay. So the landscape card or the more traditional cut of a card is this way, right? Where you look at it, so that's standing out and blocking my hands, where the card is cut this way. And people use these and they can go either this way or this way. That was like the standard one. Well, in my world, this is a landscape, right? Top fold landscape. Now, one of the fun things that's coming, and I will have like it's going to be just a special sheet because it's not so much a card. There are ways to make this card into a fun fold, either this way or this way, where you need to cut this size of paper. If you are making a Z fold card, you actually need to cut your paper this way, and then you score this in half and you fold it a different way. If you're making like a stand-up card, so it's not 100% cut and dried that every card is going to be a portrait or every card is going to be a base. I have also heard these referred to as hot dog and hamburger, which I think is so much fun. So it is just what it is. But if you're used to going to my card classes, you're used to top fold cards. And so I had to pick one, and I went with the way I normally do them. And I think people are getting used to that. I like it. I know I'm not the only demonstrator that does it that way. Okay, so my question for you, though, is trying to make these instructions make sense. And it's a little bit more when I get to the other one. So here's what this says. It says to score it at 5.5. So I didn't write score the long side because I can only fit so much on there. But if you take the paper that's like the half, right? So I'm going to score it at 5.5. So if you score first, and then you cut at 4.25, you turn it and you cut at 4.25. You only have to score once and cut once, and you get 2 card bases that are pre-scored, right? So that's what that means. And I'm wondering, do I need to write score? Oh, see, now that I should have brought 2 pieces of paper. Okay, so to me, this is, so when I say score look, if I say score the long side, my camera is not showing the whole piece of paper. The long side is the longest side, right? So that means put the longest side up against the ruler and score at 5.5. And then cut at 4.25 means to put the shorter side up against the thing and cut at 4.25. So do I need to add short and long in there? Or is it enough just to know score this way, cut this way? So that was one of the ones, because I think if I do it, it's going to go like edge to edge. When I write these instructions myself, I write score S or score L, like short and long. So maybe there's that. Anyways, I'm trying to make that make sense. So anyways, back to how you use these things. I'm just going to show you the 2 ways. So I swear we're going to be done by 8. Okay, so I want to make this card, right? So I'm going to take my portrait base. I know that. And then, so I start going with layers, and I'm like, well, that's not the right layer. Oh, that's not the right layer. And I actually don't know what the right layer, which one I used. And I have two sets. Okay, I'm going to explain them. I'll explain them now. Okay, so and on the labels, these sets say wide layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, narrow layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in red it tells you what the measurement of this piece of cardstock is. And I always do it. If you're looking at it, it's this width from this width. And the reason you know that is because if you put the letters the right side up, first is across, then up. So these ones are scored and designed to, if you layer them, and this is like starting with the very first layer. And I don't actually know that I've ever seen a card, and maybe somebody has, but I can't imagine what card I would make that would have every one of these layers on them, like this many layers. At a certain point, you wouldn't be able to put it in the mail. See, and I like embellishment, so that wouldn't work either. But so the idea with behind these, and the reason they say wide, is because this one gives you the wider border. And I keep moving these. So if they're lined up, and if I didn't keep moving them, the border would be 1/8 around. So around the card base and around each one of these layers is 1/8 of an inch. With the narrow one, when you start with the narrow layers, it gives you 1/16 of a border. It gives you a much narrower border. So there's two different sets. So you can mix and match however you want, which is what I do all the time. I like the narrow border. I like a wide border, and then I like a narrow border. But I'm going to show you a couple different card things so you can see them. Now, the thing that might throw you off a little bit is when you look at these cards, they look the same as this one, right? In case you're wondering, I did rainbows because when I thought, what has 6 colors? The first thing that popped into my head was rainbows. So I did them in rainbow order, and I tried to do like dark ones, light ones, so you could kind of keep them straight. But when they are labeled, they will all say, I think this is the one, yeah, narrow layer, wide layer. So you know which ones they go. And you can mix and match. You can put them back in order when you're done every time, or you could just leave them random because it really doesn't matter for how you use them. So as much as they look like the spacing is the same, the cards are a different size. And when you mix and match one from each pile, that's how you get the narrow layer. But these are what will give you the narrow layer. So that's why they're called narrow and wide. I was just going to label them as like pile A and pile B. And I'm wondering if that's less confusing than narrow and wide. Because you can't, like alone, they give you the same, but it's when you mix and match them, one is narrow. Anyways, so if you actually had the card in front of you, and this is kind of funny because somebody said, oh, that's great. If you have the card in front of you, then you can match it up to figure out what layer it is. And I thought, yes, and if you have the card in front of you, you could also pull out your ruler and measure what size it is. But however you want to use it. So I'm just going to cheat because I don't actually know which one this is. Okay, so that's 3 1/8. So because this is 3 1/8, I happen to know that it's one of these ones. Nope, it's not that one though. Okay, so I'm just trying to speed things up. So for the sake of doing this, I can look at this one and go, oh, wait a minute, that layer looks right, right? So I'm looking at this card because now when I'm looking at, pretending this is a picture, right? Okay, that looks like about the right border around the edge. So this is this size. So if this actually had a label on it, it would be, where did my labels go? How come I can't see it right in front of me? Because I put the wrong label on the wrong card. Oh, no, I didn't. I did it right. Okay, so this would say narrow layer number 4 is what this one actually is. So I'm like, okay, so that's what size this one is. And now I need one size smaller. So chances are it's the blue one that is, yes, one size smaller. So now you'll notice that when I put this other blue one on, you see I get a very narrow border because I mixed and matched them, and that's how I got narrow. So now when I look at this and I'm like, yep, that's the layout. So this one, of course, for the sake of my, it does not have a label on it. So I know that this is what labels, what size I need. So now when I go to make the card, because I want to copy this layout, I cut a card base and it tells me how. I cut this layer out of whatever color cardstock I'm going to use. And it tells me, there we go. It tells me that it's 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. Now, the second line on the label says, trim 1 3/4 from 2 sides makes 4. So the one of the comments I got was, if I cut the paper wrong, I'm wasting so much paper. Well, trust me, I do not want to waste any paper. So what I have done, and I'm just going to use this because I need something to draw. So this is your standard piece of, you know what, I'm gonna fold it in half and make it smaller so you can actually see. So let's pretend this is 8.5 by 11, right? So this second line says trim 1 3/4 from 2 sides. And again, there's only so much room on the label. What that means is trim 1 3/4 off the top and 1 3/4 off the side. What you're left with is this piece. And then for the most part, like all of them that say make 4, until you get to the very smallest of the layers where sometimes you can get 6 or 8 out of a sheet of paper, it basically says if this is going to be 4 5/8, then cut this at 4 5/8. And then once it's cut in half, take the other pieces and on this side, cut them at 3 3/8. And you will have 4 pieces this size, and you will have these 2 strips. Now I keep all my strips. I keep them in a little container with just stuff piled on it, or I would show you, because I use them for accents, to run behind things, to punch little stuff out of. So this is 1 3/4. I think the biggest chunk you have to cut off is 2 1/4. 2-inch strips are great. There are so many punches that fit in a 2-inch strip. But there's not much you can do about it. If you're mass producing a bunch of cards and you need multiples of a layer, this is the way to do it that you waste the least amount of cardstock. So that's what I've written on them. But I'm curious if it makes the same sense to everybody as it does to me. Because if not, I have to figure out a way to write. I'm trying to hold this with my left hand again. I'm trying to write enough on here to, I can't get it to focus with my left hand, enough to get it to make sense so that people can use them the way they want. So, and this is going to work on a bunch of different things. Like here's another one, right? So you take your card base and you get bigger cards. So you're like, nope, I'll try this one. And so you go like this and you say, nope, that's not the right border. Oh, yep, that's the right. So you can do it. So these I had a bunch of cards. If we had more time, we were going to do more of them. But so any one of these, right? You should be able to just guess by kind of looking at them what the layers are. So that will give you, that's one way to sort of recreate cards you've seen. Because once you put down a couple layers, even if they're not the right color, the right style, if they're all cardstock and none of them are DSP, you'll get like an idea that the cards look alike. Like I said, this looks, oops, I'll fold it so the layer's not standing up. This layout and this layout look the same. So now I know what size to cut my pieces, right? Here's the other way it comes in to help. And just so you know, scoop those back up again. There is another one in here that's white. This is vanilla, and of course I didn't put the label on it either. I'm sorry I was not more prepped. I was just, like I said, I was dealing with things, and then at the last minute the dog was losing his mind. So then there's also one that I will say probably 80 or 90% of my cards I think are portrait, but every now and again I throw in a landscape one, just keep you guessing. I don't know why. I guess that's just how they look to me and preference. Now, let's say you get a new stamp set and you're like, okay, I love this thing. I need to come up with a layout. How do I want to do this? This is where these things really work, because you can sit down and go, okay, so if I put a piece of cardstock down and I'm going to make this DSP and I'm going to make it a bigger border. And then I want a smaller piece in the middle. No, that border's too big. I want a smaller border. Yeah, that one. I want that border. Now, do I want a narrow border? No, I want a different border. Nope. Yeah, no, actually, I'll go with that one. And then I'm going to take a little offset piece. Oh, no, I'm going to move it up here. And then I'm going to go down here. And then, right? So instead of having to cut into your DSP or stamp in a bunch of different images to come up with your layout, you just move your pieces around. And then when you're done, you say, okay, so I want DSP. I need to cut my DSP 5 1/4 by 4. Now, I do not have measurements on here for cutting the DSP. It gets like it in my brain. I could tell you all of it off the top of my head because I've cut so much paper for so many years. If I was making a card and I was making DSP, I would pick a 3 by 4 layer as my DSP, which is probably pretty close to like this layer. One of these layers will be close to 3 by 4, because then I can get 12 pieces out of a sheet of DSP. If you cut 5 1/4 by 4, you're getting 6 pieces out of a sheet of DSP with a little bit of leftover, right? So whichever way you want to do it, but regardless of how you're doing it, if you're just making a card for the sake of making a card and you want one card, you know that you need 5 1/4 by 4 of DSP for this layer, and you're going to put it on. And maybe you've decided, you know what, I'm actually going to make it landscape. So I go cut my DSP, and then I've decided by the time I get to make my card, I'm like, nope, I think that's too many layers. I'm going to cut one of those off, but I'm going to make this layer out of basic black. So I go and cut myself a basic black layer that is that size, and I put it on my card, and I'm still going to offset it though, because I'm going to put something else down here. And then I go cut this one out of white so that I can put it here and I can stamp on it. So it helps you in from a planning perspective to move around the pieces, to decide, do I like this much of a border, or do I want this much of a border? If I cut it this way, can I fit it on the card? Oh, I got one with, and it just gives you somehow to play. So these are just like really easy little chunks of paper, but they will save you cardstock in the end, which was the goal, was to save you cardstock and to make it easier to either case cards, which is copy and share. So if somebody posts a card and you want to make it, just give credit to the original person, but this will help you copy it because you can line things up and go, yeah, that looks like about right. That looks like the right border. And then when you're cutting it, it gives you just a little bit of quick instruction to say how to take from a full sheet of cardstock, what you have to do to trim it, to cut it, to make multiples of the same length. And I will tell you, if you want to have lots of fun playing, do something like this. So here's my envelopes at the back, and then here's all my cardstock layers, right? And so I will usually, sometimes these are left over from a class. Sometimes if I'm playing, I will just cut extras, and then I just keep them in a box, and they're in the same order as my cardstock, the same order as my inks. So as I'm going, I can take out the layers. Now, sometimes I will do it where I take it out of here and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This will be the one I want. Felt like I had two of them there for a minute. And I have lost my ruler on my desk before. I always find it, but I have lost it before. So if you can't find your ruler, or if you're just like, oh, this is what I want real quick, you can also just find the one that matches it. That's not the right one. I'm going to guess it's this one. Find the one that matches it and goes, oh, there we go. It's that size. So I need to cut this by this, and this is how I cut it to make multiples. Right? So having a bunch of them ready just makes your playing go faster. Anyways, these are my things. So if you have any thoughts on what the labels say, do they make sense to you? Does wide and narrow screw it up? I would love to hear it. I am going to give the first few sets that are ready are going to go to my longtime customers. They're going to try them out a little bit. I'm going to hope for the best. But if you've used these before or you have a thought, I would love to hear it, because the easier I can make it for you to craft, the better. I love to do this. I can spend all day doing this, but I realize that not everybody has that amount of time to play. So there we go. Folks, that has been a very quick hour with a whole lot of information. I gave you a lot. But thanks for hanging in there. And if you're watching the replay and you're watching it 2 or 3 times because there's a lot to cover, I totally get that. So, parting remarks. What ends on Thursday? That's right, celebration. And if you're going to put in an order, might as well put it in by Thursday. Every order of $30 or more gets to pick from my embellishment stash, which includes the not and the retired, but I got enough of them, embellishments. Thanks, everybody. I will not be live on Friday because I'm going on a road trip on Friday with my mom. But I will have something. I will pre-record something to put up. I will be live again next week. And depending how much information I have from tomorrow's town hall, I might do something real quick after that, or I might wait till I have a little bit more information. But either way, I will give you an update next week on all the goings on. So thank you very much for hanging in there. It's been a fun Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some good information. And what did I do then? And I hope you get to go and treat yourself and have an unreal evening. I love a pun. Thanks, everybody. Take care.